Good morning, Year 3, Emerald and Green. It's Mrs. Ludlow this morning, your talking head. We're going to start off with your arithmetic questions, and you've got your books hopefully sorted out and lined in. Put your lines in so that you've got your sections to work on your bronze, silver and gold. You don't have to finish them all. If you are getting stuck on them, don't worry about it, because sometimes when you get stuck, knowing the answer at the end, you can actually start working it back. So don't have pain going through these. These should just be building up your own fluency, so don't worry too much if you're getting stuck on them. They're just to help you along. Gradually you'll get more and more used to them, and you'll be fab. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video there so that then you can check your answers in a second. Hopefully you've had time to do that, and I'll restart and we'll give you the answers. Lots of the 4s there, and some adding. There's some adding 40 and taking away 40. They're jumping up. You see if you can see patterns in those as well. You might find that there's patterns in those silver ones, and there's some nice multiplication and division in the final gold ones today. Okay, so we are going to move on to our bar models today. Now we're going to do some problem solving, and you can think about that rucksack method of problem solving, but today we're also going to think about the bar models as the best way of doing that. They really work well for word problems, so we'll have another review of that and see how we get on. So starter today, we've got Poseidon and Calypso, both having tridents. This is recapping on yesterday's converting meters and centimeters into centimeters and vice versa. So who has the longest trident? So it's about comparing those two numbers. So have a go at that and pause your video. So we've got 2 meters 7 centimeters, which if we convert meters, it's 100 meters, 100 centimeters in a meter. So 2 meters is 200. So Poseidon's trident would measure 207 centimeters. So he would have a longer trident, comparing it to Calypso's 202 centimeters. And this is a cool starter, but also it's good to have a look at, because Calypso's been measuring her shell, and there's something wrong with the way she's measured this shell. What has she done wrong, and how long is it really? She thinks it's 10 centimeters long. How long is it? The arrows show you the actual measurement of where the shell starts and finishes. So what is the measurement of her shell? Okay, so we see that she started with a 4 centimeters instead of the ruler on the 0. But we can use the steps. So if we go from 4, we jump from 4 to 5, that's 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimeters. That would give us the answer of 6. Or if we had 10 and we take away 4, we'll have the answer of 6. Or 4, put 4 in your head and count up to 10, that would give you 6 too. So her shell is 6 centimeters long. So here we go for the bar models today. I hope you're ready. Ravi used a wooden board with a length of 315 centimeters to make a bookshelf. We don't need to convert these to meters today. We're just going to use the numbers, because the other wooden board has got the unit measure is the same, so we don't need to change anything there. So he's used a wooden board with 315 for the bookshelf, and another wooden board to make the shoe rack. So what's the total length? So the first thing we've got to think of is, when we read it through a couple of times, twice usually best. What's the total length of the wooden boards used? Well, we know that when we're looking at total, we are probably going to add. So if we think about it, this is a really good way of working them through. You've got to sort of like put that visual thing in your head, and make a picture and think, you know, use what's on the page. You can, you know, think, well, that's the bookshelf, that's this amount, and that's exactly what the bar models do, because they're using pictures to help you, and a bar model does exactly the same. So let's have a look and learn. We've got the bookshelf at 315 centimetres. So here I'm generating the start of a bar model, and I've got the bracket making sure that the bookshelf here is equal to 315 centimetres, and I've got the shoe rack board, which is 235 centimetres, and now I want to find out the total, so I'm going to add the two together. So I've got a missing answer of this, which is going to be the highest amount. The answer is definitely going to be more than these two, so it's an addition. Okay, so we are going to add those together, and I would do a number sentence. 315 add 235 equals 550. Now there's lots of different ways for you to work this out. I would say that the best way for this today is to do it mentally. You can use your expanded written method. That's not a problem, but because you're getting really good at doing your mental arithmetic, you should be able to do this probably in your head. Okay, so if you take the first number and you partition this next one, so you break it into hundreds, tens and ones, you can probably just add it on as you go. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll tell you how to do it. 315 plus 200 and plus 30 plus 5. Okay, so we've got 315 plus 200 is 515. 515 plus 30 is 545. Add on the 5 is 550. Now if you want to make some jottings and use your working out column, you can, but today we're going to be really concentrating on drawing these bar models out properly and getting them, you know, so that the smaller number has the smaller end to the bar, the larger number has the larger end, and really working through these. If you need to keep going back and having a look at them, see how they work, find the adding one or the subtraction one, because there are both today, then come back to it, pause the video, see how it's done, and have another little go. So we get to 550 for this one. The total length of the wooden boards used was 550 centimetres. Now I can put my unit of measure in there, I must use that, so that it answers the original question, which was how, let me have a little think, where was it? Hold on, going back the wrong way, Mrs. Ludlow, where are you going? Oh, what was the total length of the wooden boards used? We had that, which was the 550. Okay, 550 centimetres, the total length of the wooden boards used. Okay, so go back and see, make sure you're answering that question, then it's absolutely perfect. Okay, so this one is Charles used 315 centimetres from a piece of wooden board that was 500 centimetres long. So he's used a smaller amount this time than the piece of the wooden board that was longer to start with. So it's then saying he's used this, he's got this big one, used a chunk, there's a piece left over. So if you can visualise that in your head, you're on a really good start. You've got a really good start. So the first thing that we need to see in here is that the largest amount is for the whole of that bar. So he's cutting off a piece, he's using a bit, which is quite a big piece. If we look at that, it's probably, it is going to be the larger end. Okay, 315 or 500. So he's used this part, and there's a smaller section left over. Okay, so this answer is going to be less than this. So we can, from that, we can judge that this is going to be a subtraction. It's got 500, the biggest number of the two, is taking off 315, and it will leave him with, and we don't know what that is yet. Okay, so we then make our number sentence. 500 take away 315 equals 185, and we can do that again by our mental maths. We do it by mental maths because when you're showing lots of zeros, it's really difficult to, it's not impossible, but it's really difficult to do your expanded method, because you will have to start exchanging twice in that number. It's not impossible, but it's actually easier to do that in your head. It's easier to do it mentally. So we've got 185 centimetres. That answer is going to exactly relate to my question. How long was the piece left over? The piece left over was 185 centimetres long. Must put that unit of measure in, because that answer is not right. 185 does not answer how long was it. It could be 185 pence, it could be 185 millilitres. If you put centimetres, it's going to be how long. Okay, so that's really important. I'm going to recap that mental method for you, exactly the same way as we partitioned the adding one. We're going to partition the take away, the subtraction one. So this second number, we're going to partition this into 300, 3 tens, 300, 110, sorry, 300s, 110 and 5 ones. So 300, 10 and 5. Okay, so we're going to then, we've got 500 to start with. We're going to take away 300, which is 200. Take away 10 is 190. Take away 5 is 185. So just take them as you work through it. Largest number first, then that, then that. Okay, so that will give you the answer again, 185 centimetres. There are other ways to do this in your head. You can do a way of counting forward. That works exactly the same way. You come up with the same answer, so I can do that one for you. 315, and I put that in my head, counting forward to 320, that would be adding 5. Count forward to the next highest, nearest 10, or nearest 100 now, is, so I got to 320 with 5. Now go to 400, which is 80, 85. 400 to 500 is 185. Okay, so it's doing those they're doing those jumps. I always imagine it forward and backwards on a number line in my head, which is really useful. So how much taller is the shard than the Tower Bridge? We've got the really tall shard. I've been up the top of the shard, brilliant. Tower Bridge, quite a lot smaller, okay. And how much taller is it? So we're not standing them on top of each other. We're not going to be adding today. We're finding the difference between the two. So we know that the shard is the tallest, so it's going to be the biggest number here in our bar model. Tower Bridge we know is quite a lot smaller, so it's going to have the smallest end. So that's the whole 308. We're going to be taking this away, which is going to leave us with the unknown part of our sum, which is going to be a takeaway sum. 308 take away 65 equals 243, and you can do that by 300 take away 60 is 240. 308 take away 60 is 248. Take away the 5 is 243. Okay, and then our answer is going to be in metres. The shard is 243 metres taller than Tower Bridge. Okay, how much taller is it? It's you can see if you turn this on its side, actually, if you stood them side by side, this would be the Tower Bridge, and that one, that extra bit, is how much taller it is than the shard. Okay. So Emma, last one now for guided, and then you're on your own. Emma travels from Hawkinge to Canterbury, passing through Ashford. find the total distance she travels. So she goes from Hawkinge to Ashford, 42 kilometres, Ashford to Canterbury, 98 kilometres, and then we're going to do our bar model. So the first part here is the smaller bit, 42 kilometres. Next part is the larger one, and the unknown part of this bar model is the whole of it. So it's going to be an adding, it's an addition. So 42 add 98 is, well, I like this one because ordinarily we'd have the, you know, so often we'd have the larger number first. So we'd say 98 plus 42. Well, I like this because you've got a number bond there. 8 add 2 is 10 straight away. So 98 plus 2 is 100. Add on my 40, 140. Always have a look and see if you can get those number bonds to 10 or 100 because they are such a shortcut. So Emma travels 140 kilometres. Okay. So here we go with our steps to success. There's my little wobbling shining star. And Ravi there, steps to success today. Read the questions carefully. Twice is best, so you can really get that visualisation in your head. Choose the correct operation, add or subtract, and the bar model can really help you with that too. Draw that bar model using a ruler, and that largest bar, try and relate it to the largest number. Write your number sentence and work out your answer. Use your working out column if you want to. That's really nice so that you keep your books really nice and clear. Complete your answer, including that unit of measure, either centimetres, metres or kilometres, so that you answer the question really specifically. It's got to have that on it. And here we go, there's the questions. People want to pause the video. This is a really good way of getting those questions out. And there's the last one. So you've got this first one, you've actually got a model, a mock-up of the bar model for that question. Don't forget they're not all exactly the same as this. Okay, and you have to fill in this one, and then but you can use that as a guide to help you with the others. Okay, so have a go. This one is a little bit of a tricky one. It's a tricksy one, that one. Okay, so yeah, that's have a little really good think about that one. Think which is the longest road. Is it road A or road B? And then put that into your bar model. Okay, so that's a little hint for you for that last one. I hope that goes well, and I'll see you soon.